Prepare yourself for Earthling Entertainment, the perfect blend of paranormal and pop culture, with your host, Joe Wakefield and Ryan Lang.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Earthling Entertainment with Joe Wakefield and Ryan Lang.
Hey, I'm your host who's the subject of a future urban legend yet to be written, Joe Wakefield.
And I'm Ryan Lang. Hi.
Hi. So if you're joining us again, hey, how's it going? Thank you for joining us again. Please remember to download the episode. But if you are a new listener, you might be wondering, what is this show? What is it all about? What do you do? And you know what? We're going to tell you right now what
Prepare
we do.
yourself.
So what we do here is a little bit of the spooky, a little bit of the creepy. Sometimes it's cryptozoology. Other times it's a haunting, a myth, or a legend. But it's always spooky.
Oh my god.
And that's why it's in our first section called Spooky Stuff.
Huh.
Today we're doing Tales from the Spooky Stuff Vault. Sometimes we have subjects that aren't long enough to be like a solo subject, and we group them together, and that's one of these episodes. So you're going to get 4 creepy tales in today's Spooky Stuff.
That's right. That's right.
Then the next part is about aliens. That's right. It is a lovingly section we call Disclosure Discussion.
I'm just asking questions. UFOs, UFO stories, photos, videos, interdimensional stories, anything like that. We've got a pretty good one today. I'm excited.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Then, the second part of the show, the latter half, if you will, is all dedicated to pop culture and entertainment. Sometimes we have celebrity guests. Other times we do quiz games, or we have audio dramas, or we're just talking about fun industry news, and occasionally a celebrity death. But those 2 parts of the show, the first being the spooky, and the second part being all pop culture entertainment, come together and form a delicious moon pie of a podcast known as Earthling Entertainment. Welcome.
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 And yeah, everybody, welcome back to our returning listeners. Like Joe said, we appreciate you guys tuning in every week. And like Joe said, the best way to support us, just download the episode.
It's true. So, Ryan, I was trying to figure out something to do for this show, and I found this article that I really wanted to discuss, but it didn't really fit in any part in general.
Okay.
So this guy, it turns out he's digging in his backyard, you know, as we do at times.
Okay.
And he comes across this like giant round thing, right? And you're looking at it and you're like, okay, well, there's a familiar image here, but it's huge. It's huge. What could it be? Well, let me tell you, Ryan.
Septic tank?
Are you serious? Because you just totally threw me.
I mean, it could be a septic tank. I mean, like, just saying, like, what if, you never knew.
Well, that's not quite as amazing as what it actually ended up being. It actually ended up being 3 or 4, a whole family of 20,000-year-old car-sized armadillos.
Dude.
Yeah,
So,
fossilized.
Fossilized. Oh, you know what? I think I did hear about this.
Isn't that insane?
That's awesome. Now, and it makes you wonder, like, is this dude going to be rich, or is this one of those things where it's like, I donated it and they put my name on a plaque?
I think you donated and put your name on a plaque, right? Like maybe, but think about it. You might be able to have a bidding. I mean, are you Indiana Jones, man? Because I always wonder, was the whole thing with Indiana Jones, was the excuse me, the museum's funding his adventures, or was he
Yeah.
just doing his thing and then giving it to museums or selling to these museums? The famous thing in the third film, The Last Crusade, is it belongs in a museum.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so is the museum funding these covert operations where we raid tubes? Because that's kind of awesome.
I think you're onto something there, right? Because when he was a teacher, I believe that's how the adventure kind of started, was like his buddy from the museum. Like, isn't he the one who basically tasked him with the whole?
Well, that's the whole thing, right? So
Yeah.
I'm just saying, this guy who finds these armadillos, do you sell them or do you give them away? I
So-
mean, I feel like
Sell them.
How do you sell them?
I don't. You put that shit up for auction.
But it's like, isn't there some like historical worth? Like, if you find a monument in Egypt or something, I mean, I imagine the Egyptian government seizes it, but I'm just saying, depending on where you're at, like, you don't get to just keep it, right? So, where do you draw the line between something you get to keep and something that's like, no, this is a historical find for all humanity? You can't just sell it on eBay.
Well, and it's weird, right? Because I know that that's like a big celebrity brag right now is to own dinosaur bones. So they're able to buy it somehow. So someone's able to sell it somehow. So
That's true. That's true. But like, we know we have not a lot of dinosaur bones, but I'm just saying, if you have a T-Rex bone, it's rare, but there are T-Rex bones in a museum. I could be wrong, but I don't know how many have fossilized giant armadillos. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. I know I heard that I forget who it was, but I know there is a celebrity who owns like a saber-toothed tiger skull that they bought.
Well, see, that does seem a little badass. You have to put that above your chair, like in your office, and have like a real, he's got to be a rocker, and that's all I'm saying. It's also a guy. I'm just saying, there's no way a girl has the skull, because I feel like girls are more eloquent, right? So they would have the bats. They would have bats up on the wall, giant bats. Maybe I'm just referring to one girl I dated once. It's not important.
Yeah, well, spooky.
But I'm just saying, to have a giant armadillo, maybe it's not just museums, maybe it's scientists. I mean, they are saying, I mean, we're supposed to get a cloned mammoth soon.
That's right. That's coming up.
So maybe a 20,000-year-old giant armadillo. I mean, we can't be too far off from a world where they're cloning giant versions of animals to have like a popular zoo. Because let's be honest, we talked about last week, the rhino dying, or one of the rhinos dying. So how far are we from genetically making old things come back, which will eventually be dinosaurs?
But
I'm just saying, for zoos.
Well, right. And they're using the pieces of DNA that's missing from, modern day ancestors of these dinosaurs. That's how we get in the mammoth back, is there's a kind of elephant that's really close. So when we see one, it's going
just
to be
like Jurassic Park, they fill the gaps. Yeah.
Right. It's going to look exactly like a mammoth look. Like, it's gonna be a mammoth. Like the fact it's not gonna be like a hybrid, you know what I mean? It's not gonna be like half elephant, half. The way they do it is it just fixes the DNA. Like, makes it usable.
But it kind of hybridizes the animal rather than being a true like recreation. Now, but here's the thing.
The way I heard it was gonna be like legit, like when you see one, that's exactly what a mammoth always looked like. That's what they looked like.
You're probably right, but until we get one. But here's the thing: if the armadillo only being 20,000 years old, just being giant, how different could the DNA be from a modern day armadillo? So maybe that you can get even closer, because a mammoth is, I mean, I could be wrong, but a mammoth's more than 20,000 years, right? Maybe not.
I know that the last mammoths basically died when the pyramids were pretty much just being finished.
Well, that doesn't make, you can't say that. No one's sure when the pyramids. That's speculation.
They've been able to
they
carbon date that
shit.
You
can't carbon date stone. They have not carbonated it. The dating of the pyramids is referred to because there's one pharaoh's name carved into a stone somewhere in the pyramids, and it's widely believed
King Tut was here.
No, kind of, right? And it's widely believed that it was in the early 1900s, and the guy who discovered it, it's widely believed that he did it because he went there to get answers and he couldn't get answers. You can't carbon date stone, man. It's like the Sphinx.
I just thought that they had that shit
you got
documented.
me on a tangent, you son of a bitch.
Like I said, I just figured that they had that shit kind of documented. They had a pretty good idea of the time.
Yes,
when that
but
was
it's
happening.
all speculation, man. They're like, because like I keep saying, you can't carbon date stone. So what they would do is they'd say, well, this stone was buried next to this reed basket, and we can carbonate the reed basket because it was made with living things. So since it was buried at the same time, we're going to estimate that it existed around this time.
But either way, going back to these giant armadillos. Well, and that we used to have giant sloth here in Michigan.
Giant sloths, a lot of places.
They were very abundant here back in the day. So it's like that would be almost like the same thing, right? Like, so were they called giant sloths? Cause like, are they actually related to modern day sloths?
I think they were actually.
So it's like, could you do that too? You know what I mean?
Well, here's a better question: why was everything giant back in the day?
More oxygen.
Oh,
well, there was more oxygen in our atmosphere, in our air. So things were allowed to be bigger. That's what they say. If we had more oxygen, We would probably get like giant bugs and shit.
No, I think, I mean, you're not wrong, but there was a time in history when really the world was just trees and there were giant bugs. You know how like they had mass extinctions, like 6 or 7 of them? Well, one of them before the mass extinction was a world of giant trees and bugs. And it was
Mm-hmm.
before whatever decays trees, whatever protein, whatever it is that decays trees. It was before that existed. So these trees would just fall over, and stack on top of each other and become piles and piles, and later become like coal and
Yeah.
diamonds and
It-
stuff like that.
It's
Because
crazy.
carbon compresses over time.
It's so mind-boggling to me. Like every time you hear them be like, "Oh, that was 42 million years ago." It's like to really contemplate that much time is like it's wild. Like it blows my mind.
Well,
Like
they're two different fields of science, and I agree with you completely. But I guess I just lost my point, except beyond the fact that kind of cool they found giant armadillos, right?
it's pretty sweet that he found giant armadillos in his backyard. That is just not something that happens every day.
That's right. Well, I think we should probably jump into spooky stuff.
Oh yeah, let's get
that
scary.
felt like sufficient beginning of the show chatter.
I
if
think
do
so.
say my yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, prepare to get scared, guys. These are, listener beware.
Absolutely. And prepare yourself for another installment of Tales from the Spooky Stuff Vault on this week's Spooky Stuff.
The Drowned Boy of Hawaii. A small village on the big island of Hawaii is the center of paradise. Living as well as tragedy, as paradise living as well as tragedy that haunts its residents to this day. It is said that a group of children were playing alongside a pond in the village in 1947 when one boy lost his footing and fell into the water.
Wah, wah.
His friends ran to get help immediately, and rescue divers were on the scene within minutes. When the divers located the boy at the bottom of the pond, they were shocked to see his lifeless body propped up on a rock. It was as though the boy was sitting calmly while waiting to be rescued.
That's just a little horrifying, right?
His eyes and mouth were wide open,
That's a little bit more horrifying.
and his body swayed along with the movement of the water. The divers shook off the chills creeping down their spines and brought the body back to the surface. While the villagers tried to forget about the tragedy and move on with their lives, it seemed that the drowned boy refused to let them. Reports soon surfaced of unseen fingers tugging at the pants of those who walked alongside the pond. People became convinced that the spirit of the dead boy had remained in the water. They believed that he wanted to drag the living into the pond to join him in his watery grave.
Yeah, I could see that. That makes sense. I'd be pissed if I drowned, and I'd randomly just be like, I'm taking that guy with me. Look at him; he looks happy. Let's just drag him in the water.
That's why that wasn't the old trope to hold your breath as you drive by a graveyard because they see that as insulting because you can breathe.
Huh?
Wasn't that
Creepy.
the old thing?
I was just thinking, like, this kid before he drowned had to be kind of a sociopath before to have his spirit be like so vindictive. Like,
Right, for a
Yeah.
young kid.
yeah, for a young kid to be like, you know what? I'm pissed. I'm gonna drown other children. Like, oof, dark move. Were you also killing cats? Jesus.
Or maybe he just doesn't know. He
I don't
doesn't
know.
even know.
Then
So-
he doesn't know he's dead.
Yeah.
Then he just thinks he's a little boy trying to murder other little boys.
Yeah, I guess that's
That's
not much better. That's
horrifying.
not much better.
Yeah, no, not at all.
So years passed without further incident. Then, one day, a young boy was strolling along the shore of the pond when something dragged him in. His father, who was walking ahead of the boy, turned to see his son disappearing into the water. When divers found the youngster, he was also perched on a rock with his eyes and mouth open. Fortunately, the boy was resuscitated once the divers brought him back to the surface. After this incident, villagers started hearing a plaintive cry from the pond in the darkness of night. It is rumored that the crying will continue until the boy finds a substitute to replace his spirit in the depths of the pond.
Wow. I like that one. Actually, is a lot of fun. I think if you're that boy's father, you move out of Hawaii. I don't care if it's your ancestral land. You're like, fuck it, we're going to Wisconsin.
I say it's a pond. Fill it up.
Yeah.
Screw it. It's just a pond. Let's get some dirt and fill this thing up.
Well,
Get rid of it.
you need a ghost pond just in case you have to lure someone into a trap, Ryan, in the third act.
Yeah, but this like kind of gave me it kind of gave me like
Chills?
chills. Yeah, it was
That's because you're a father with 2 little boys.
right. Why can't I think of Don't Be Afraid of the Dark? What was it? The Nickelodeon show, the scary show.
Are you afraid?
Are You Afraid of the Dark? Thank you. I don't know why I couldn't think of that.
But
But it gives me that kind of vibes a little bit.
it does. It reminds me of an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode, I believe, called like the Sea Demons, where this old captain like just got a bunch of treasures from shipwrecks, and because of that, all these spirits who died in them shipwrecks would come out and try to get him every time he slept.
Yeah.
So he would like time it for like 5 minutes, but then he'd wake up before they would go return to the water.
That's right. I remember that. That was a good one.
That was a creepy one.
This
But
one,
Little Ghost Boy is horrifying as well, man.
it kind of reminds me of the I'm cold, the cold ghost.
Also from Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah.
Yeah, the little boy who lost his jacket and froze to death in the woods.
Yep. And all you had to do was give him a sweater.
Yeah.
It was in the log, if I
Yeah.
remember right. I
Yeah,
can't
she-
believe I
she-
remember that.
She
but-
found his old sweater. And, you know, they did their best. It was a production value that wasn't great because it was like a
Yeah.
kid show. But what I thought was funny is this kid was supposed to die like 30 years and they pull it out. And it's just like, this slightly dirty jacket has just
Right.
been in this log for 30 years. It's
Yep.
fine.
Yep. Here you go.
Oh, man.
All right. So I think that brings us to
No, it doesn't.
no.
You know what else? Oh, man. You know what else, though, is it reminds me of, I don't remember what movie it was, but there was a serial killer in this film. It might have even been a TV show, but what he would do is he would drown people in the lake.
Damn.
And he would, so it was like a garden. And he was like, I must tend to the garden because he would like, you know, put rocks or something so they would dangle and then they'd just be kind of floating dead people. And he
Huh.
would drop so many in this water that you'd go through and it would just be kind of like a garden of just these floating dead people hanging out. It was really fucking weird. But it
That's,
reminded me of that too, Ryan.
It's like they're beautiful. What a lovely garden. Do you think you could grow some tomatoes?
Ryan,
Like
That's
I
rough.
like tomatoes.
well, okay, here, look at it this way. You know when they killed Jason Voorhees at the end of the 6th or 7th movie? And he's just kind of he's kind of like thrown in the water and he's kind of chained up to the bottom, kind
Yeah,
of
and
floating.
he's just kind of floating there.
Yeah, do you have that image?
Yeah.
Now, use the AI of your brain and duplicate it with like 30 more and have them all be like, you know, early 20-somethings women because that's the serial killer's MO in the story.
That's
It's creepy as shit,
that's
right?
pretty creepy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
horrifying.
That water would be disgusting.
That's true. But since it's like an actual like living pond, wouldn't it also like, I don't know what he did to the bodies to make them so they didn't rot, right? Because
Right.
I think they would get eaten by fish pretty quickly and it would just be a bunch of skeletons and then the skeletons wouldn't float. And skeletons don't stay together. They would fall apart, right?
Right.
Like it's not like the cartoons where skeletons are stuck together.
And eventually they would dissolve.
I've
The
thought
bones would.
I think I've thought too much into this.
Yeah.
All right, we can move on. Number 2.
The Vanishing Hotel Room. 1889. A mother and daughter were traveling through Europe when the mother suddenly fell ill. After arriving in Paris, the duo booked a room in a luxury hotel, and the mother went to bed immediately. Her daughter was concerned and sent for the resident doctor. The physician gave the mother a prescription, and the daughter set off on a frustrating journey. She walked around the city, struggling to find an apothecary or anyone who spoke English, as she did not speak French. After finally returning to the hotel with the medicine, the daughter was astonished to find that the hotel room was empty and her mother was gone. What's more, the room looked completely different. The curtains, carpet, and wallpaper all sported different patterns. The daughter looked around for their luggage to confirm that she was in the right room, but it was nowhere to be found. Finding a cleaning lady outside the room, the daughter asked if the woman had seen her mother. The cleaning lady simply stared at her, and then turned around and walked away.
Oh, dick. Excuse me.
Approaching
You
other
assume she didn't speak English.
approaching other hotel staff elicited the same response. All the staff, as well as the hotel manager, denied ever seeing the mother or the daughter before. The daughter ran off to the embassy. She hoped that someone would be able to help her, but the officials there decided she was insane and sent her to a mental institution. Being trapped in the asylum with no one who would listen to her story, the daughter went insane for real and died only a few years later.
That is really dark. To be fair, it was 1889, so like you could
she's
send
crazy.
You could send someone to the insane asylum and be like, she sneezed in church.
Like, oh,
She's
my
fucking
God.
insane.
Like, lock her up.
So
Good Lord, man.
Ryan, what do you think happened here?
I think she went to the wrong hotel because she doesn't. They've never been there. They're on like a. She struggled. She got herself turned. You know, she zigged when she should have zagged.
We find another story of just like
What
this woman, her daughter just never came back.
Just never. That's the other story, right? We gotta dive into this. I gotta find out because yes, there's another side of the story where she's just like, my daughter never returned.
All right, but like, look, to play devil's advocate, wouldn't be cool if it was just like actually gone though. Like instead of you going there and it's a different room, what if the room just wasn't there? Like there was no doorway. That's a creepy ghost version. But I have if there's something supernatural going on, my most accurate hypothesis that I believe is most accurate, I should say. What if she somehow entered a very close but different parallel dimension?
It's possible.
Yeah. I'm reminded of, a good example would be the show Fringe, where every time they jumped into the parallel dimension, it was just little things like the Statue of Liberty was gold instead of green. And there was quite a lot of blimps. And that was about it because it was a network TV show and they couldn't do much. But yeah.
There's a reason why the Hindenburg, I think, was such a popular story because, yeah, they wanted to get rid of blimps to popularize airplane travel.
Yeah.
That's my theory anyway.
How much awesome? No, dude, because blimps, they had like giants, like skyscrapers with blimp ports where like you could like get dropped off at the top sky.
Yeah.
How much cooler would have the world been in a more steampunky universe?
I honestly agree. And that's why I can't help but feel like there's a bit of a conspiracy in there somewhere that it was like a whole big boom of the airplane industry.
Yeah, big airplane said, fuck you, the blimps.
And people were like, why am I going to, because it was probably more expensive. I'm sure it was cheaper. You know, everyone's used to the blimp.
Well, the blimps move slowly, but
Yeah.
having a giant ball of combustible gas was an issue, right? Like we definitely had to improve upon the blimp, but we could have.
That's what I'm saying.
The Hindenburg could have been a cautionary tale, not like, oh, that didn't work. Next.
Well, and that's the conspiracy that Hindenburg was on purpose. And that's why it was so well televised. And
my God, the humanity.
Yes. It was literally, that's the theory, is that it was all staged to get everybody to not like blimps anymore and jump on board an airport.
It was the 9/11 of the time, man.
It was a big deal. I mean, yeah.
It's insane. I believe it because what it was the whole like direct current or reverberating current or reoccurring current, I forget, but it was Tesla versus Edison.
Yeah.
Same kind of concept where it's like the world could have went in a completely different direction.
Edison electrocuted an elephant in front of an audience to try to make Tesla look bad. That is true.
Yeah. Look at this Tesla asshole. Look what he does to elephants. And he zaps the elephant. Be like, well, you just did that you just what are you doing? See, even my dog is pissed about this elephant issue.
We agree, Pogo. That was fucked up. That's right. Look that up. That's sometimes history's messed up, you know?
You know what else is messed up? Number 3.
The Dow Hill Forest of India. Forests have always been places of great interest in fairy tales, and for good reason. Dow Hill Forest in Kurseong, India, is a great example of this. Many murders have happened in this forest, and some say that those who die still roam the woods. Ooh. A popular legend revolves around being followed by a headless boy, and if you're unlucky enough to spot him, He will never stop. If you find yourself walking alone in what they call Death Road and hear footsteps, pay attention to where they're coming from. If they're behind you, or if they come from a direction that you can't see, go the other way. Do not look for the source. But if you do see the little ghost boy walking towards you, it's said that he will follow you for the rest of your life. Even catching a glimpse of the spirit can invoke this supernatural stalker. It's said there have been people who have been driven mad from seeing him. Some victims have even taken their own lives in an attempt to be rid of the boy.
That is really creepy. It reminds me, do you know the film It Follows?
I do know the film, but I don't think I ever saw it.
Yeah, so it was kind of like this demon that would basically do that, would just stalk you, and it would take the form of different people. So this it would always be the little boy, but it's just the idea of that, like no matter where you go, there's always this thing that's slowly moving towards you. It's a horrifying concept.
That is a horrifying concept, and I don't know why, but on a lighter note, it reminds me of the Haunted Mansion, because at the end of
What?
the Haunted Mansion at Disney World, Disneyland, because at the end they're like, "Beware of hitchhiking ghosts," and the doom buggy turns you to like a mirror, and they have like a ghost sitting next to you,
Yeah,
like, in the mirror.
yeah. I remember you telling this story, and when you went on it, didn't your kid freak
My
out?
kid was like, "Oh my god,
We're all gonna die!
Ah, like, I'm not kidding.
There's
like
a
he
big
lost, he lost his mind. He's like, that the ghost don't know.
Why did you take me here?
I'm not even kidding. And it took us a while to convince, like, it was just a trick. It's
Oh
just a
man.
trick.
Well, it's okay. So I think about the suicide forest on Mount Fuji in Japan, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's
I
what
kind
that
of think,
reminded me of
like,
as
why
well.
would you go to the suicide forest, right? Well, it's kind of the same thing. How shitty would it be if you just took a trip to India and you're just like, oh, look, a nature hike. Come on, Susan, let's go.
It
Oh,
says Dow Hill Forest.
Oh.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
that's a lovely trail.
Let's go for a walk.
What do you
know?
think headless boy pass means? All right, let's go.
Well, it's like I don't know what's going on with this little boy over here, but
Doesn't appear to have a head.
it's like this kid. I can't shake this kid.
Oh my God.
He's still following me.
But now it's changed because in my head, this old couple always wanted children and they just kind of adopt it. And we get a weird Tim Burton
Oh.
thing where they're like, a theme song starts and it's kind of like, like an 80s sitcom. It's like, da 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 da, sitting down, hanging out with him. They're like going to a baseball game. We
My
get
ghost son.
yeah, we get to see like the headless kid like playing baseball and them cheering and then like baking cookies and he drops the cake and they're like, oh, and they hug.
Like, oh, Jeremy's been at it again.
But it's got to start like where the whole first act is this really dark horror film and then just do a left turn. I think I've come up with a robot chicken sketch.
I like
not
it.
a film.
That really is a robot chicken sketch.
Yeah.
With the music and everything. Yeah. Like.
Damn. Too bad that show doesn't exist anymore.
I know.
I could apply.
That's right.
Anyways, number 4.
The Legend of Julia Brown.
Not too bad of an ass on that one. Every time, Brian.
Never gets old.
No, it gets old. That's part of the joke.
On the shores of Lake Pontchartrain, north of La Place, in the Menchak Swamp, was a small town called Frenier. Around the mid-1800s, a few dozen families lived in the community. A woman named Julia Brown lived in Frenier. Julia was a traiteuse, a type of faith healer.
Sure.
She combined Catholic prayer and herbal remedies from plants she gathered from around the swamp.
Okay. So, witch.
Right. The locals knew Julia for her healing abilities, as well as her skill in singing and playing guitar. She was loved for her healing, but also feared because of her power. The townsfolk said she was a voodoo priestess. Eventually, Julia grew old, and locals often saw her sitting on her porch, rocking and singing, guitar in hand. She began to sing a new song, one the town hadn't heard before. It was a simple tune. When I die, I take the whole town with me. When I die, I take the whole town.
Ooh, 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 that's when I move. No, seriously, just fucking leave.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry if you actually think there is a legit witch or voodoo priestess or whatever, and you overhear that, like, and she's like old. I mean, maybe you don't do it if she's in her 30s, but if she's old, you're like, ah, shit, it's gonna be a pain in the ass to move. But we could not die.
It's
That's
like, why don't we just put her in this wagon and slap the horse on the behind and sayonara?
Well, she didn't say, like, my death will be the radius. She said, I'll take the town with me. So what if you try to just, oh my God, we can cryogenically freeze her, Ryan. And
That's
then
right.
the town will survive forever. And that was the birth of New York City.
In the mid 1800s.
Shh, it makes sense.
It came from a swamp.
Alternate universe.
All came from a swamp.
Where our moms in our hotel room still are.
So, on September 29th, 1915, Julia Brown died.
Oh.
Nearly the entire town gathered to bury her. Some came to pay their respects, while others came to gather favor from her spirit.
Seems kind of selfish.
Around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, as they lay Julia to rest, a storm landed ashore. Not just any storm, a Category 4 hurricane with winds reaching 145 miles per hour. By the time the hurricane subsided, several towns were gone. 275 people were dead, and the entire community of Frenier had disappeared. Many of the dead were never found. A mass grave was made for the ones they did. Julia Brown is supposedly buried in the same area, but her grave is isolated, away from the rest.
Ooh, that's a fun story.
That's a fun little, like, yeah.
I kind of like it.
Sounds a little Stephen King-y, like the Perfect Storm kind of.
It does. But you know what else it reminded me of? Everybody was watching the Disney movie Kanto. And isn't the whole thing where it's like, we don't talk about Bruno, wasn't it? Because
Encanto, yeah.
Yeah, Encanto, right. Well, Bruno, correct me if I'm wrong, he had prophecy, and anytime he prophesied something bad and then bad thing happened, people would blame him like he caused it.
Right.
So
that's, he kind of, I think the whole point was, his power is like, these are things that could be. It's like almost more of a warning.
Well, my point is, if what do you think it is for this woman, right? Like, was she singing, when I die, take the whole town with me, like, haha, you assholes, I'm causing this? Or was it just like, hey guys, shit's gonna go down, you might want to leave? Like, in what context was she saying this?
I don't know. And everybody liked her. She helped a lot of people. She
Not
was
too bad of a guitar player either.
Right. So everyone, she probably helped a ton of people. She was, she helped them with medicine.
But then, like, unless you were in like a weird trance and you don't remember singing the song, like your eyes go all white and you start singing and you have actually no memory of it, then why aren't you just being more direct and just being like, yo, Luther, maybe move or just don't be here on Tuesday, like going to town or something? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah,
I don't know either.
But it is a really, really fun story. I always do like the, I don't know why, the things set in the swamp, to me, it's a really fun place to like set kind of supernatural stories. There's this great Hellboy novel called The Emerald Hell. I would suggest anyone who wants to hear like, swamp monsters and like mystery and,
Who doesn't?
Stephen King, you're right, really invokes a lot of that feeling. I don't know, man. There's one movie called The Skeleton Key with, I think, maybe Naomi Watts. I don't know. No, Kate Hudson. It's not important. The point is,
I remember that movie.
That one's about voodoo, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I remember that movie. King Diamond had an album called Voodoo,
right?
Which was a really cool story about like a family that moved in, and there was they had this guy who was basically their butler, and he had been there in the house for a long time, and they find out at the end that they're like, and his name was Salem, and they're like, Salem has been dead for 200 years. He's buried in the back.
That's fucking crazy.
Like, it was good. It was a good one.
Do you remember the band Godsmack?
I do.
Yeah. I'm not the one who's so far away when I feel the snake bite into my veins. Never do I wanna be here again, and I don't remember why I came. Anyway. is that was stuck in my head when we were in the hospital when my wife was giving birth to our son, Paradox, and I kept thinking, well, this is probably not a bad son. I'm not going to worry about it.
I get weird songs in my head all the time. Like I really do. Like I got a Monoxide song stuck in my head. If you don't know who Monoxide is, he's half of Twisted. And back in
Oh, was it?
2004, he made an album. And for some reason or another, literally the other day, I'm walking around my apartment going, "You don't wanna see me.
So
Y'all
Twisted,
don't really
if
wanna test me."
yeah, if you guys don't know, Twisted is a horrorcore group.
Like
would you
alongside
call them?
ICP.
Would you say rap group or hip hop?
I'd call them like like a rap group. I'd say, you know,
Horrorcore, nonetheless.
horrorcore, yeah, like a part of like because I don't think they're on Psychopathic Records anymore, which is Insane Clown Posse's record label. I think they're doing their own thing now.
Honestly,
So,
everything in that genre of music, I kind of fell off of with 2011 when our buddy who was in that
Yeah.
field passed away.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind
no,
of
it's just I feel like ICP is like, and all of Psychopathic Records, all those artists of that time. It's like Detroit's Sesame Street. We
That's
all
funny.
listened to it when we were younger. Like we all did.
You know what's kind of weird though is you gotta whether you like them or you hate them, and it's a niche group. You gotta hand it to them for making their own genre and doing their own thing,
Oh,
man.
100%.
Like, there's very few people you could be like, you say a genre of music and it completely comes to mind. I would say like Nirvana comes to mind when I hear grunge first, so maybe that's a good example. But like you hear horrorcore, what do you think? ICP. There are
Right.
people who don't know any other band but will know ICP.
Exactly.
They're in the
Everyone,
zeitgeist.
yeah, and they've been mentioned enough, and the fact that the FBI classifies juggalos as a gang,
That's hilarious.
and they literally fought that to the Supreme Court, and they were denied.
That is
So
hilarious.
juggalos are actually considered a gang.
To be honest though, I would totally capitalize that. I'd be like, join the gang, guys. I'd be like, seriously, it'd be fun.
I think it pissed them off because it's like, dude, we don't need just because our fans like our music, now all of a sudden you're labeling them as being in a gang. It's fucked up.
It is.
See, Pogo agrees.
Oh man. Well, anyways, yeah, voodoo. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool stuff. Voodoo.
Voodoo priestess, curses.
I think that probably
yeah.
brings us to our next segment, actually, because that is the end of spooky stuff.
Yeah, so let's get a little bit, sci-fi. Let's see a little alien action. Let's jump into this.
Disclosure discussion. Ha 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 ha. It's about aliens and stuff.
U.S. Air Force disposed of alien body in 1978. Retired major claims in new book. This comes to us from WSOCTV.com. A former United States Air Force intelligence officer recounted in his new book an incident he claims resulted in the killing of an alien being in 1978.
In 1978.
It's like, we come in peace. Well, we don't.
Oh no. It's true.
Like, why?
We brought the cure for SARS. I know it's not that big of a deal anymore, but still, I mean, geez, it's something.
It's like, I've got the cure for Ebola.
Oh no. We were gonna bring back the rhinos.
It's like, oh, well, fuck. Too bad.
Someone doesn't get a Dobo bird.
Shame. Retired Air Force Major George Filer III told author John L. Guerra that on a day in January 1978, a 4-foot creature, gray and brown in color with a large head, long arms, and a thin body, was shot and killed at Fort Dix in New Jersey. We're a bunch of dicks. The Asbury.
It didn't say Fort Kindness.
Right. The Asbury.
That's a dumb joke, right?
That is a horrible joke. The Asbury Park Press reported the book titled Strange Craft: The True Story of an Air Force Intelligence Officer's Life with UFOs. Quite a long title.
Yeah.
Claims a military police officer shot and killed the alien with a 45 caliber military issued handgun. Like, well, damn. Blew a hole in him. The military first spotted the alien after observing an oval-shaped blue-green craft hovering over a vehicle, the Asbury Park Press reports. The alleged alien died of a gunshot wounds. I don't know why it's funny to me. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, like,
I just
like why do you
thought
keep
of
laughing at this cop
shooting an alien? It's just
like-
so weird. Like, ah! It just sounds like something right out of Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, it is kind of a funny thought to see in like a comedy movie or something where it's like
Strange Wilderness with
well,
Bigfoot.
like, yeah, where it's just immediate violence without
Yes.
like any provocation at all.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like I cop.
Yeah, dude.
Oh.
That's why I can't help but I'm like, this is why. This is why.
This is why you don't give Cletus a gun.
So the alleged alien died of gunshot wounds on the Air Force side of what is now Joint Base McGuire-Dix Lakehurst, Filer told the author. After the alien was shot and killed, a cleanup crew from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
Dun dun dun.
I actually camped there when I was a kid, so I could have been abducted, dude.
Yeah.
Was flown in to retrieve the body, the press reported. When it comes to aliens and unidentified flying objects, Wright-Patterson often comes up because of its involvement in an operation called Project Blue Book.
Which we've talked about many times on this podcast. And honestly, if you are into the UFO phenomenon at all, check out some of that information, man. It's crazy. Do a deep dive on the internet. You'll start getting the truth twitch and be like, lies, cover-ups. It's all around us. Oh my God. Up is down. Red is blue. I don't know what's happening.
It's gonna be okay, Joe.
It's a lot of fun.
It was a lot, yeah.
But if you're just doing it for entertainment's sake, you could always watch the History Channel's Project Blue Book, which lasted 2 seasons, and it's a bit of a period piece to X-Files.
Black is white, up is down, and short is long. And everything you thought was just so important.
He's doing a Weird Al reference. Everything you know is wrong. Okay, we're done.
Just forget the words and sing along. Sorry.
That's
Sorry,
fine.
everybody.
You know, Weird Al is always welcome to be discussed, and if you haven't seen the movie Weird, the Al Yankovic story,
I need to.
It was a Roku original movie, which is why a lot of people haven't seen it, but now it's available at digital anywhere where you buy stuff. It's worth a watch. It's worth a watch.
Oh, I'm dying to see it, honestly. Like, I every time I hear about it, I'm like,
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I gotta
Daniel
watch it.
Radcliffe plays Weird Al, and it's amazing.
I love his career. I love it.
Back to disclosure.
So, from 1947 to 1969, the Air Force investigated UFOs, this is at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, as part of the project, which was headquartered at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. According to the Air Force Declassification Office, the project was terminated in December of 1969. At the time the project ended, around 701 of 12,618 sightings remained unidentified, according to the Air Force. The project concluded that no UFOs showed technology outside the scope of what was within the range of scientific knowledge at that time.
Yeah, and except for all those other things, don't worry about that. I mean, we don't know what it is. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. Not aliens, though. Not aliens.
So,
signed, the government.
Right. And that's what kills me about this story is it's like, I want to know more. So, like, why did he shoot the alien? Was he just, like, scared?
Well,
or
that's why you got to read the book, Ryan. There's
Like-
literally a whole book about the subject.
Was the alien hostile? Like, did he point a gun at him? Like a ray gun? Or
No, he actually just came down with a box, and he's like, "Hi, guys. My kid is selling Girl Scout."
Like,
like,
Like-
shot in the face.
it's just so I love Earthlings, I do, but a lot of Earthlings tend to shoot first and ask questions later, it seems.
But what
When
if
it-
this guy in particular has a history of this? Like, you look it up, you find this guy's name, and it's just like he actually shot 4 midgets a year earlier.
Oh no.
He's freaked out by short things. He just screams and shoots.
Or it's like this is
That alien could have landed anywhere. He landed in the wrong damn town, Ryan.
it'd have been funnier if this wasn't the first time he actually shot an alien though. Like if he's like involved in it's like another one comes down like bah! Damn it. I
Oh,
shot another one.
oh, guys, Guys, that one was E.T.
You know, it takes them like 5 years to get here. Like, that's so rude. You shoot them dead. But I don't know. So I wonder if this guy, you think this guy's telling the truth?
I mean, I have to read his book, man. I can't know. Based on this story alone, I am interested in hearing it because I want to know more about like the bodies and where they end up. But like, how convenient is it to have? Why was he shot at the like that close to the Air Force Base? Like, did the alien was he already there
It
and
says-
escaped? Right, because he died on the Air Force side.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So to me, it sounds like the alien may have escaped, and then because why are you that close to a base? Like once again, that alien could have landed anywhere, Ryan.
right. And this was at Fort Dix. It was shot and killed at Fort Dix in New
And
Jersey.
then went to right.
Yeah.
place. But still, why are you at an Air Force base? Are you checking out the air? I mean, they do say UFOs are always looking at nuclear sites and things. So maybe there was more going on there than we realized, and the aliens were checking out.
I always heard the theory that Wright-Patterson is the real Air Force One. Like everything, the bodies, the craft was all moved there. I believe there was an old story about
And Air Force One was a decoy.
Richard Nixon took the one.
I'm not Air Force One. Area 51.
Right. Get off my plane.
That'd be awesome. Air Force One is flying around and there's a bunch of alien bodies up there. That's why we have never found him, Ryan. It's all on the plane, bro.
But no, did you hear the story about Richard Nixon took the one actor that he really liked? I forget the guy's name. I think it was.
Yeah, it was a guy from
like One of These Days, Alice.
Yeah,
that guy.
The Honeymooners.
Yeah. It literally they were on a drinking, like they were just drinking whiskey together, and he's like, "You want to see something really crazy?" And he literally took him to Wright-Patterson and took him in. And the dude, that actor, was obsessed with aliens and UFOs after. He even built a house to look like a UFO. Like, you can look that up. What his house looked like when he died. It was the shape of like a saucer. It was crazy.
I am gonna look that up.
Yeah,
I've never
yeah.
heard that. That's a lot of fun.
So
It's weird though, Ryan. You know, some people just do weird things. Some things in life are just weird.
like this segue,
Real world weird.
you can have the Taco Bell wedding of your dreams in Las Vegas for only $777.
Finally.
This comes to us from Nerdist.com. Do you love Taco Bell more than anything in this world?
Yeah, kinda.
Except maybe your partner, of course.
Right. Yes. No. Wife. Yes.
Have you ever wished you could get married to the love of your life within the other love of your life? That sounds really
Yeah, man. You know what's funny is I
polyamorous.
read that. It didn't do anything for me, but once you said it out loud, that got real hot.
It did. Well, like fire sauce packet. Put that on the outside. Well, you're in luck. Taco Bell unveiled new wedding packages for its Cantina location on the Las Vegas Strip. The package includes many benefits and quirks that the biggest Taco Bell lovers will be sure to enjoy for the reasonable price of only $777.
Honestly, that is a very reasonable price.
It's reasonable for a wedding.
We have a buddy who got married in Vegas. Man, Vegas weddings happen. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry about having an intimate ceremony. The wedding will take place on the second floor of the Taco Bell Cantina. Flora Pop, Taco Bell's exclusive wedding partner, coordinates and officiates the wedding in a half-hour ceremony. The minimum time needed to set everything up is only 4 hours. So you can have your wedding officiated and celebrate with friends and family in no time.
Wow, Ryan, that's having your burrito supreme and eating it too.
Sure is, Joe. The Taco Bell Cantina Chapel Room is where it all goes down. It's a reception area that can house up to 25 of your closest family and friends. Live Mas. If you need more time or have more guests, Taco Bell has additional event packages that allow you to extend the time or size of the event. If this seems a little weird, that's how Taco Bell rolls.
It is. Taco Bell's always been a really weird company. They would still have the Taco Bell dog if people didn't get pissed off and say it was racist. In hindsight, I guess I can kind of see it, but I never understood that.
Viva Gorditas.
I just remember I really liked the 1998 Godzilla because at the time I was like, 12. And there was the dog, and
Yeah.
they had a Taco Bell commercial,
They
and he's
did.
sitting there, and he had like a little stick holding up a box, and he's like, "I'm going to catch the lizard," and then
That's
the
right.
the Godzilla comes by, and he looks at the camera, and he's like, "I think we're gonna need a bigger box," and
That's
it made me
right.
so happy.
And I
But
didn't
yeah, in
understand.
hindsight, I
yeah,
guess
I
it-
didn't
yeah, it's-
understand the
it
hate on
was-
it because it was a Chihuahuas are literally a Mexican breed.
I think it would have been considered less of a big deal if they didn't give him a Mexican accent. Like, I think if he
guess.
just talked like a normal person, that sounds terrible. That's not what I mean. If they talk like a more regionally accurate
I know what you meant.
person for the hotel.
No, I know what you meant, but no,
Yeah.
to me, it's just I don't know. I like voice acting and stuff like that, so sometimes
I just think
an accent slips out of me. No harm intended, of course.
no. My only point was I think that may be why people got pissed off. It's
Yeah.
the two things together. It's
Yeah.
it's the dog is from Mexico, and then you gave it a Mexican accent. If you had done one or the other, I think you would have been able to get away with it. That's
I feel
all I'm
like
saying.
like when things were getting canceled, I feel like that should be the meme. Just superimpose the Taco Bell dog head on the guy's like first time. like, it's like,
you know what else I really liked as a spokesperson for Dell Computers? Like, dude, you're getting a Dell.
Dude, you're getting a cell.
Yeah, that guy from the '90s, man. He was commercials were cooler back then.
And he got in trouble for weed. It was so dumb.
Yeah, it is kind of funny that like 10 years later, they're like, yeah, it's fine. He's like, I lost a career because
Yeah.
of this, but thanks, guys.
Yeah, and now you can literally, like a civilized person, walk into a dispensary and get whatever you want.
In most states, actually.
In most states, yeah.
Well, I don't think most, but still a lot of them.
So let us remember that if you found this article weird about doing a Taco Bell wedding, remember that they were doing for a while there the giant Cheez-It on their menu, which was a thing, and I always laughed at that. I never tried it.
It was disgusting. I tried it once.
I'll bet it was.
It was a Crunchwrap Supreme, right? And what
Yeah.
they did was instead of having like the corn tortilla, they had a giant Cheez-It, and they wrapped it in the flour tortilla and did all the Mexican.
They kind of did it like tostada or whatever.
It
Like,
was disgusting.
I'll bet.
I did not like it. It didn't taste like a Cheez-It to me.
Like the Doritos Locos Tacos, that was brilliant. That was brilliant.
I feel like I just feel bad about how shitty our food is in this country. It
It was
really is.
horrible.
Dude, like KFC had a sandwich that was 2 pieces of fried chicken
Mhm.
with cheese and bacon in between it without bread. And America's like, yeah.
And do you
It's
remember
no
when
wonder we're all died from heart attacks.
Taco Bell, didn't they have like a flattened like fried chicken thing and they used that as like the taco, like as the shell? I believe that they
I
did
may
that.
have missed that one, but I would not doubt it.
I believe that
I
they
would
did
not doubt
that.
it. Fast food is rough. And you know what's funny is it's no longer fast or cheap.
Oh my
so
God,
if
no.
you go there and you're going to spend 30 fucking bucks and you're also waiting 25 minutes, you might as well just go to a diner.
Dude,
Just
right?
get a normal sandwich
I
or
honestly,
something.
and I only will go if I use the app. I'm telling you, like I use the app for McDonald's, for Taco Bell, for Wendy's, all of them, because you actually get points. Sometimes you get free stuff. You get like 25% off.
I'm just
So
going
it
to
kind of brings it down. You
I'm
know?
just going to go to a Coney Island, man. I shouldn't have to jump through hoops to eat lunch. But I hear you.
Yeah, it's not too hard. But
Yeah.
so back to having a Taco Bell wedding.
Yes.
Along with
Once again, America.
America, along with getting a wedding venue in the form of the Taco Bell Cantina on the Vegas Strip, patents will also get the Taco Bell themed wedding merchandise,
Damn right.
along with just married couples t-shirts. You also get a Taco Bell sauce packet garter and bow tie
Huh?
that includes all of the greats: mild, hot, and fire.
But there's no Verde.
No verde.
Verde is my favorite. It really was. You know what they did? They added avocado to it and added an upcharge. So they brought Verde back, even though it's a little different now. But you have to pay 50 cents a packet.
What about Diablo?
I didn't really care for it.
I'll be honest. Diablo is only good when paired with another sauce. Hear me out. You
Okay.
pair it with another one next time,
Sure.
it's good.
I will give it a try. I'm just usually not like the darker brown hot sauces. I like less. I'm more of I like the lighter orangier hot sauces.
Tell you what, when I came over here,
Or
I was
green.
not hungry.
Now I'm hungry.
I'm fucking starving now.
Yeah.
Like we're
Fuck.
talking about Taco Bell. So, in addition to getting all of that, you get a pair of champagne flutes.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. It's the skinny tall glass.
Oh, okay. I was like,
that's a flute of
oh,
champagne. Yeah.
I'm over here literally envisioning
like a flute,
like a glass flute, and I'm just like, okay, but
get a little ocarina.
that
That's
seems
weird.
Yeah, that seems a little weird.
Yeah.
So of course the wedding isn't complete without food, and who better to cater than the host? With all that Taco Bell swag, you also get a Cinnabon Delights cake with the Taco Bell party pack.
Can I just get the cake? It sounds awesome.
Amazingly, it doesn't end there. The bouquet features a Taco Bell Twists sauce packets to make up its design. So Taco Bell Twists with sauce packets making up the design on it.
Yeah, makes sense.
However, no guest will luck out in the bouquet toss because you aren't allowed to keep it.
Yes, because apparently there's only one, and they're only letting you borrow it.
All right, give it back.
It's funny. They're like, all right, we have to add that because we're giving them a bunch of stuff. So let's make it very clear that you don't get to keep the damn bouquet. Why?
They have a person.
That can't be that hard to make. Like, and keep doing.
They have a person like playing like the Oscars, like wrap it up music, like just staring at you awkwardly. Just
You better give me that bouquet when you're done.
Like,
You're not getting away with it. Someone's gonna try to steal that bouquet.
give it back. Like the guy trying to get the pizza from Jim Brewer. If you haven't seen that, Jim Brewer did sorry, total random ADHD thought here, but so Jim Brewer was doing a pizza commercial, and there was like a
Jim Brewer's a stand-up comic.
I just assume that everybody knows who he is. But yeah, and he was doing like a pizza commercial, and every time, he wasn't supposed to eat the pizza, so the prop guy, like in between sets, was like reaching over and like fighting him for it, like what? And he was finally like, "What the hell, man? Like what's going on?" So I don't know why, but that just reminded me of it. Sorry, total random brain thought there. So going back to Taco Bell, it is important to note that Taco Bell does not provide marriage licenses, so you'll need to get that elsewhere before the ceremony. I mean, that's how it works.
That's standard. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to go to the courts and get one. Yeah.
Although if you are just renewing your vows, then no worries. Also, you have to come wedding ready, as there is nowhere to change or do your hair and makeup at the venue.
Why would they want to deal with that? They're a restaurant. They would probably have to worry about health code shit if you like actually put on makeup and tried to they would probably, have to do different things.
Yeah,
I'm serious because it's still an operating restaurant.
that's true. At least one guest must be present at the ceremony as a witness. To get more information about the Taco Bell wedding package, you can contact Cantina Events at drgfood.com or head to their booking page.
Yeah, yes. You know what? Just to be like cheeky, just to be like an asshole, if I ran that Taco Bell, I would like make everything exactly the same, but like for food, you could only get Arby's. So that's it. You get roast beefs. Just really confuse people. Like everything is the
Arby's?
same. Yeah, because it's the most unlike Taco Bell I can think of.
You son of a bitch. Give me some curly fries. Fuck it.
Confusion.
At least there's like a lot of Arby's sauce, right? There better be.
Earthling Entertainment special report. Jason Statham returning for Beekeeper 2. Timo Tyanto helming the film as director. The Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Golem release date has been pushed back to December 2027. Alan Cumming will guest star on season 2 of Doctor Who as a malevolent cartoon. This has been an Earthling Entertainment special report. That's right, Dr. What?
Calling all comic fans, it's time to feed your brain at Green Brain Comics, where the freshest new issues, graphic novels, and manga hit the shelves every week. Whether you're looking for the hottest new series or the latest small press sensation, we've got it all. Every genre for every age, Green Brain Comics is your one-stop shop for all things graphic storytelling. Got questions? Our friendly staff knows their stuff. Whether you're a longtime fan or new to the world of comics, we've got recommendations that'll keep you coming back for more. And don't forget to check out our special events. Green Brain Comics is not just a store, it's a community. Located in East Downtown Dearborn, we are at Green Brain Comics on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Shop online at greenbraincomics.com and remember to feed your brain at Green Brain Comics.
It's true, you made it through to the second half of the show.
Well, just like that annoying voice indicated, you have reached the second part of the show. The pop culture stuff. Yeah, the pop culture part.
There you go.
Well, just like my intro died, we're talking about other things that have died, and here's this week's.
Remember that guy? Remember that gal? Well, now they're dead.
Space Ghost. Voice actor George Lowe dies at 67. This comes to us from comicbook.com. Adult Swim would not be the juggernaut that it is today on Cartoon Network if not for Space Ghost. While the spacefaring superhero was originally introduced as a serious crime fighter thanks to Hanna-Barbera, Space Ghost Coast to Coast would reimagine him as a far goofier, hilarious talk show host.
Best show in the 90s when I was a little kid.
It was good. I used to watch it. It's a classic. Yeah, love it. Unfortunately, it is with heavy hearts that we report that the voice actor who breathed new life into the interstellar cartoon character, George Lowe, has passed at the age of 67. Considering Lowe's impact on the animation world, this news will see many fans of the actor remembering the breadth of his career. Ever since initially joining Cartoon Network, the actor has been a major fixture in Adult Swim's lineup,
in so many things that you didn't even know he was in.
garnering roles in beloved shows such as Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Robot Chicken, Sea Lab 2021, The Brack Show, Squidbillies, 12-Ounce Mouse, and believe it or not, more.
I really liked Sea Lab 2021. That was one of my favorite early Adult Swim shows. And if you can get your hands on any of the older episodes, like the first season, it's fun nostalgia. But that's the thing. Is it nostalgia? Like, is it going to be really, really bad? I almost don't want to rewatch it. But I love that one.
I know Aqua Teen Hunger Force was always hilarious to me, so
You know, they recently made a movie.
I didn't even know that, no.
Yeah, there's a second feature film. I don't remember what it's called, but it came out last year.
That's my man, Baxter Brown.
Me. It really was our generation's, like, liquid television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was no denying George Lowe's voice. When you heard him, he had that very commanding voice. Like,
yeah.
it was just, I can't even replicate it.
That was pretty good, though.
Thank you. Cartoon Network wasn't the only platform to highlight George's work, as he also had roles in American Dad.
Woo! That actually is my favorite cartoon.
Oh, yeah. Celebrity Deathmatch,
That was a good one.
The Grinch, and various other projects. Lowe made a name for himself with Space Ghost, and his legacy as a voice actor isn't soon to be forgotten, or ever. Lowe's passing was initially announced by writer Will Harris, stating the following on Blue Sky. Just learned from one of his friends that George Lowe, voice of the titular character from Space Ghost Coast to Coast, has died. R.I.P. George.
Yeah, they got the Blue Sky post right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a picture of Space Ghost. Rest
Lowe-
in peace, George.
Lowe's friend and radio host Marvelous Marvin posted a tribute to the departed voice actor while stating the following. I'm beyond devastated. My Zobanian brother and best friend over 40 years, George Lowe, has passed away after a long illness. A part of me had also died. He was a supremely talented artist and voice actor. A true warm-hearted genius. Funniest man on earth, too. I've stolen jokes from him for decades. He stole some of mine. He was also the voice of Space Ghost and so much more. Qui Loto. George Lowe, you will be missed.
Absolutely. And like Ryan and I have said, we know him from so much of the work from when basically we were teenagers. So
No mistaking that voice.
oh,
Iconic, absolute icon. Like literally, yeah, shaped our childhood, dude. Like our coming of ageness. Like from being a kid to like kind of growing into a teenager. That was Adult Swim. Like, arguably, is that great? I don't know, but it was all.
It did help mold our humor, to say the least.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Well, unfortunately, we have a couple more to say, and these are arguably bigger names, but that's actually why we're touching them upon them briefly. Both of these people died last week, literally the day we dropped our show.
Yeah.
So, and they were in memoriam at the Oscars. So it's kind of old news, but we did want to still mention it. And here is a couple more unfortunate people that have passed away too soon.
Gene Hackman dies at 95. actor Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, have been found dead in their home in Santa Fe, according to New Mexico police. The 95-year-old Hollywood legend won Oscars for The French Connection and Unforgiven. The deaths are still under investigation. Gene Hackman, you will be missed.
Yeah, so there's a lot of weird things here. Basically, Gene
Mhm.
Hackman was found in his mud room. He's 95 and he had died. And according to his pacemaker, which the last event, because they can record when it logs it, was 10 days earlier. So his body was laying there for 10
I was going to say,
days.
I heard that it was obvious that they had been laying there for a while.
Yes. The wife, they apparently found pills by her, and the dog was in the closet. So no one knows what's going on, and that's why it's under investigation. My speculation is he died and she took her own life, and that's really,
Ooh.
really dark, and it's sad, and I hope that's not the case. But no matter what happened, it shouldn't take away from the fact that this guy, he was a Hollywood royalty. He won 2 Oscars.
Mhm.
I mean, he was my first introduction to what Lex Luthor was, watching the original Superman movies.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you remember the 2000s movie of Keanu Reeves, The Replacements?
I don't think I saw that one, no.
I really like that one. And it's Keanu Reeves at his 90s Keanu Reeviness.
Oh, you
It
got a
was right before, I think it was,
Reeviness.
yeah, it was his at peak Reeviness.
Yes. But no, that's so messed up. And I think the most messed up part of the story is that they were passed for that long and no one's checking in on a 95-year-old dude for 10 days. That's crazy.
Well, to be fair, we have your wife and you have your whole family. You assume, like who's supposed to check in? Eventually, someone does a wellness check. The police. That's who found them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Eventually, a neighbor does say, "Hey, I haven't seen anyone go in and out." You know what I mean? So it's like, but it's kind of like when someone goes missing, you can't report them for 2 days. Like, how do you know?
Right.
Yeah. Like, how do you know they're not at the supermarket or something,
It's true.
or took an impromptu vacation? But I will always remember Gene Hackman from his roles. Strangely enough, his last film he did was Welcome to Mooseport, which I think was 2004, 2006. Terrible film, but I remember that because I knew he announced that he was retiring around that time, and I was just like, I'm gonna log this because this is the last time I'm gonna see this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what? He lived for like 20 years after that, and he lived in New Mexico. He rode his bike every day. He lived a life like a lot of Hollywood people. I don't know, man. It's a different kind of world, right? Like
Mhm.
you're just constantly doing the business, which is moving to different places. You're acting in different things. You have to do award stuff, so you're traveling a lot, for
You
campaigning
got to
for
keep
stuff.
busy.
The point is, like, I don't know how often you get to be a normal person, but he took 20 years. He took his golden years and actually got to be a normal person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, good for him. 95.
No,
That is a hell
that's
of
a
a
hell of a
number.
run, no
That's a
matter
hell
what
of a number.
happened. Yeah.
So unfortunately, that does bring us to our third and final. Well, now they're dead today. Michelle Trachtenberg dies at 39.
Yeah, this one hurt because she's my age and I
Mhm.
grew up watching her, and yeah, it's weird to think she passed.
Gossip Girl star Michelle Trachtenberg has died, according to reports. She was 39. The New York-born actor who also starred in Buffy the Vampire Slayer as Buffy's younger sister, Dawn, and led the 2005 Disney movie Ice Princess, and the one that I know, which was Harriet the Spy,
That's right.
was
you
found
you
dead.
know her from her first role.
That's what I know her from. Was found dead in her New York City apartment by her mother. It is widely believed that her death was caused by complications after a recent liver transplant. However, it remains inconclusive due to the family's decision to forego an autopsy. Michelle Trachtenberg, you will be missed.
That's right. I think Eurotrip I really liked her in that one.
Oh, yeah,
And
she was gorgeous in that movie.
there's a movie called Take Me Home Tonight. It's an 80s set film, and it's a rom-com, and Topher Grace is in it, and it's Chris Pratt is in it, and so is Anna Faris. I don't know if it's the one they met on before getting married, but anyways, long story short, um, she played a small role in that, and she played a goth girl, and an 80s goth version of Michelle Trachtenberg was not too bad on the eyes, Ryan.
I'm
Not
sure
too bad
it
on the
wasn't.
eyes.
I'm sure it wasn't.
But beyond that, she was a great actress, and she will be missed, man. Dying at 39 is insane to think about because it's like, oh, Joe, you're gonna die next year.
Right.
Like, wow, weird perspective, man.
Better start checking off some boxes on that old bucket list.
Yeah, I'm glad Jesus. But yeah, pour one out for him.
That's right. That's right. So I think that now brings us to a new segment here.
It's not really a new segment. It's just the Oscars, bud.
Right. The Oscars happen, so why not?
Well, we have to talk about it because we do entertainment. You can't just have the Oscars and not even mention it.
It's true.
So real quickly, guys, we're going to just run through the list of winners. And afterwards, we'll mention any of the films, our impression of any of the films or winners that we might have. Go ahead, bud.
All right. The winners of the 97th Academy Awards. Best Picture, Anora. Best Actor, Adrian Brody, The Brutalist. Best Actress, Mikey Madison in Anora. Director, Sean Baker from Anora. Best Supporting Actress, Zoe Saldana.
Zoe Saldana.
Thank you. I thought with a little squiggly above the end, give it a nya.
Well, it's Gamora, and I know her name is Zoe Saldana.
Amelia Perez. Best Supporting Actor, Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain. International Film, I'm Still Here. Documentary Feature, No Other Land. Original Screenplay, Anora, Sean Baker. Adapted Screenplay, Conclave, Peter Strawn. Original Score, The Brutalist, Daniel Blumberg. Original Song, El Mal from Amelia Perez. Animated Film, Flow. Visual Effects, Dune, Part 2.
That makes sense.
Costume Design, Wicked, Paul Tazewell. Cinematography, The Brutalist, LOL Crowley.
Lol?
I don't
It's
know
gotta be
how
a name, right? Lol?
Right, Lal Crowley. Documentary short film, The Only Girl in the Orchestra. Best Sound, Dune, Part 2.
Yeah, that makes sense again.
Production Design, Wicked. Makeup and Hairstyling, The Substance. Film Editing, Anora. I didn't know that film editing was an award.
Yeah, man. You know, there's a couple things that jump out at me when I hear all these awards. One, I think it's really cool that The Substance, being it's a horror film, it's a genre film, winning anything is
wild movie, yeah.
Yeah, well, that winning anything is pretty cool when you're a genre film. I mean, I think Sean Baker won like 5 Academy Awards for one movie.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, and that guy, he did a movie on an iPhone called Tangerine, which I think won an Academy Award a while ago. But he won 5 Academy Awards.
So evidently, I need to see Anora.
Anora, my understanding, because I did not see it, so I'm not going to say whether it's good or bad. But my understanding is she is a sex worker, but it's kind of like a feel-good movie. So think of it like a different, darker take on Pretty Woman. Is kind of my understanding.
I was about to say kind of like Pretty Woman.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to say whether it's good or bad because I didn't see it. I mean,
Moulin
it won the best picture, so
insane.
A lot of people think it's great, obviously.
And I like that Flow got animated film, but I also think
I do not.
I kind of think it's wild because that means it beat Wild Robot, which I thought
Wild Robot should have won.
I think that should have won hands down. I agree as well. Flow was good.
Flow was good,
but there's no dialogue. You know what I mean? I feel like, I don't know. I agree that one was odd to me. It was cool that Flow got recognition. It's an independent film, right? It's like the first independent animated film, I believe, to win an Oscar.
Not at all. I don't know that.
Oh, I thought that's what I heard. I could be wrong.
Maybe it was the most independent animated film. Maybe that animated is where you're correct.
That's what I was thinking.
But okay, so you make a movie without dialogue. Well, that is a testament to visual storytelling for sure. But also, it sells around the whole world because you don't have to translate it. So
Yes.
I get reasons why it won, but the Wild Robot was just so good in my opinion.
It was really, really good. No, that movie, especially being a parent, it tugs at the heartstrings.
It does, man.
And
The first time I saw it, I literally, I can't lie, I cried once or twice.
it's okay.
You damn little robot and a duck just being so beautiful. Son of a bitch. But you know what else jumps out at me here is Kieran Culkin.
Yeah.
He won Best Supporting Actor. So there's 3 Culkin brothers, I believe. There's Macaulay Culkin, there's this guy who is Kieran Culkin, and then I think there's Rory Culkin. Now, I was thinking, let's say you're Rory Culkin. You're sitting back and you're watching the Oscars. You're an actor too, but you're not nearly as acclaimed as your brothers. And you see your brother just win an Academy Award, and then in the same night, the woman who wins Best Actress for Honora, Mickey Madison, she played Ghostface Killer, spoiler, for Scream 4. I mean, excuse me, for Scream 5.
Okay.
And Rory Culkin did for Scream 4. So not only did your brother win an Academy Award,
Yeah.
but you played a horror villain, and someone else who played the same horror villain as you also won an Academy Award. Aren't you sitting there just being like, always the bridesmaid, never the bride?
Last year was so wild to me that I forgot that Dune Part 2 came out last year. I don't know why. I thought it came out longer ago.
Well, because it came out early in the year. It was like January.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But-
And that's actually why I probably didn't win more Academy Awards, because it wasn't in the forefront of the award season minds. You know, it was supposed to come out at the end of 2024, but they actually pushed it. So it being an early, it's supposed to 2023, but pushing it into 2024.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, and my biggest takeaway, though, from the Oscars, from what I've seen just in clips, I didn't watch the whole thing, was Conan O'Brien killing it as host. I thought he was hilarious, and his whole opening number was great.
Yeah, yeah.
And-
His Kendrick Lamar joke was interesting.
That was
funny.
a
That
great
made me
choice.
laugh.
That was a great choice.
There's a lot. Conan in general, he always puts on a good show. I was down when he did the Tonight Show for that short period. I think he just got too weird for the Tonight Show audience, so they were like,
Probably.
we're gonna backtrack here.
No, he is weird, but that's why we love him. That's why we love Conan.
Yeah. Well, I just love movies in general, and I miss being in LA for one big reason, and that's the Oscar parties. I every year went to some Oscar party in some insane location and got to watch the Oscars with some very cool people, and I just, can't wait to get back there and do one of those again, because out here it's not like in LA. It was like the Super Bowl. It was like everyone's like, yeah, we got to get snacks. You go to the grocery stores, everyone's in line buying stuff because they're like, we got Oscar parties.
Yeah,
It's just a fun atmosphere.
sounds like it. But no, I don't. I confess, I don't think I've seen
Many of the other ones.
any of these other than Flow.
Well,
I'm not even kidding.
Well, Adrian Brody did do a great
I did
job.
see the substance.
You-
did see the substance.
Yeah, you liked that one, right?
Yeah, it was weird. It was good.
It was good. It was good. What I was gonna say is Adrian Brody in The Brutalist totally deserved the Academy Award for The Brutalist, but he took his damn time with his acceptance speech. But yeah, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It was a little bit like me, 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 me. But
Yeah, a little bit. A little.
most acceptance speeches are.
They are. Well, some people do good. I think some people are more aware of the moment than others,
Well, Timothy Chalamet's speech when he did Chalamet when he did the SAG Awards, that was a good one, because he was saying like how he wants to be one of the greats, and I liked that because he was just like saying like, I'm not there yet, I'm gonna keep working. And I saw so many people getting all pissed off online saying like, what a cocky kid calling himself one of the greats. But like, well, first of all, dude, he just won a SAG Award, so let's give him some freaking
Mhm.
credit. But second of all, he said he's aspiring to be one of the greats.
Right.
There's a difference.
Right. There is a difference.
It's
Big
like
time.
it's like calling someone an asshole or saying they're being an asshole. There is a difference.
Right. And it's funny to me, the movies that I liked that came out last year, obviously didn't get recognized, but Smile 2 was awesome.
Smile 2 would probably not be up for an Academy Award.
But
And
God, it was good. And
I did really like it, as it was a genre film, a horror film. It was great.
Late Night with the Devil, that was a good one.
Sure,
Long Legs was a great one.
Well, you know what you got to do? I don't know if it's Rue Morgue or Bloody Disgusting or Fangoria, but someone does like the Chainsaw Awards. Look up that one. That's all horror films. You probably all of those probably won an award, man.
They had to, right? Because it was just last year was fun. And Deadpool and Wolverine, how is that not even mentioned? That came out last year.
Well,
So how is that not even? It was like literally like the most successful R-rated film of all time.
because making money doesn't mean you won an award. That's the bottom line. Like, was it the best costumes?
Yes.
Was it the best sound?
Yes.
Was an acting performance better than any other movie that year's acting performance?
Yes.
Uh,
It was so good, and the soundtrack.
That might
the
be
soundtrack.
that might be a
alone.
hill Ryan is willing to die on.
We go
But
back
I will
in-
say the idea of the Academy recognizing a that bombastic rated R comic book film is slim to none.
It's the same bullshit as when Star Wars was coming out and killing it and was amazing, regardless if you agreed with the storyline or not. And it was never. It didn't get. Well, John Williams. John Williams would win. That's it. They would be like John Williams.
Well, I don't know, man. Sometimes things happen. Return of the King won 11 Academy Awards. So it does happen, to be fair.
But Return of the King was Lord of the Rings. That's quite different.
It's a fantasy film. Before Lord of the Rings, fantasy films were like Dragonheart. People were like, this shit ain't going to win awards.
Well, I mean, Dragonheart
Should have won Best
won
Picture
award.
in
It's
1995. Yes.
only like one of the best films ever made.
I agree.
That's right.
Thank you.
That's right.
5 of them bitches.
How many dragons do you know?
You know, in the last one, Helen Bonham Carter played the dragon, and to save money on a CGI dragon, they said, "Oh, this dragon could turn into a mouse and other things."
You told me that.
It pissed me off
It's
so bad.
great.
I'm like watching this Dragonheart movie, and for like this whole scene, I'm following around this little mouse, going like, "You son of a bitches!"
like the dude from Jurassic Park. Like, hey, there are going to be dinosaurs on this dinosaur tour, right? Like, there is going to be a dragon in Dragonheart.
Right. Well, speaking of an old film franchise, we're going to jump into headlines, and we're starting right off with an old film franchise that looks like it's coming back from the dead. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this week's Earthling Entertainment headlines.
Zendaya joins Shrek 5 cast. This comes to us from GoodMorningAmerica.com. Zendaya has entered the Shrek universe. Universal Pictures made the cast announcement in a video shared to its YouTube channel and Instagram. Far, Far Away's finest are coming, the caption reads. Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, and Cameron Diaz will return to their beloved animated characters of Shrek, Donkey, and Princess Fiona in the film, while Zendaya joins the cast as Shrek's teenage daughter. The official Shrek Instagram account also shared a screenshot of a post Zendaya made on the social platform X in August 2017. I watched Shrek too often in my adulthood, Zendaya wrote at the time. This aged well. The official Shrek account captioned its post. In the cast announcement video, Shrek and Donkey look into their magic mirror. Hey, magic mirror, who's the fairest of them all? Donkey asks, to which the mirror replies, why, Shrek, of course. The mirror then shows off a photo of Shrek wearing purple sunglasses, a video of the ogre dancing in a skin-tight black jumpsuit, and a shirtless pic of Shrek showing off a toned physique. Shrek's daughter reacts with disgust. Ew, Dad, bleh, she says, while Shrek's wife Fiona has the opposite reaction. Who's making this stuff? Shrek asks. As Pinocchio appears in the frame, not me, Pinocchio says before his nose grows double the size. The 5th Shrek film arrives in movie theaters on December 23rd, 2026.
Yep. And I liked this little announcement trailer. And then after I saw it, I'm like, wow, cool. I mean, people are going to be happy. And I saw the internet, and everyone's like, they ruined the animation. It looks so different. It doesn't look that...
It's a little different.
It looks a little different. It's been like 15 years since the last movie, man. CG. If you watch the first Toy Story and watch the new Toy Stories, they look different, guys.
Yes.
It's so silly. And people were comparing it to in the Sonic movie when they made Ugly Sonic, and they're like, we did it once, guys. We can do it again.
I literally just saw people posting it with just the simple caption, bully them. We've done it before. like yeah,
But
with
why?
Sonic. Yeah.
It doesn't look any different to me. But that aside, I'm down for a new Shrek movie. I liked Shrek. I do think it's funny because Shrek famously had triplets in the film, and everyone is like, oh
They
my god,
ate the other two.
yeah, like exactly. What happened? Are they dead? Like Jesus. I'm sure we're just gonna have
that would be dark Shrek humor.
I
that,
mean,
like they died or they ate them or something. I don't know.
they're probably just gonna be like, they're off to college or something.
Yeah, that's
stupid, right?
That was my second thought. Maybe that'll be the story that they've moved out and now she's like the last to leave the nest kind of thing.
Maybe, but you know what? They're triplets, so they all be the same age. But also, why are we assuming that that the other two kids aren't there? Because this is an announcement trailer about Zendaya joining the cast. So those other two kids could be still yet to be cast and could still be in the movie.
Right, and could even be the villain. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like
I'm
like
just
some
saying,
kind of
could be-
rivalry. I don't know.
You want to go like all Shakespeare and have it be of family ties broken apart. The swamp has a line drawn down the middle.
It makes sense.
Two sides have been drawn.
Like they've kind of done that before, so it's like it kind of almost, but I mean for them to do Shrek 5, that is insane.
I'm down for it, man. You know what the really weird thing is though? Shrek 4 came out in 2011, 2010, I believe, which means when this one comes out, 16 years. So someone born when that last movie came out is old enough to drive by the time the next movie comes out.
Yep.
Huh. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
But it's animated. So as long as, honestly, I was going to say as long as none of the actors die, you could do a sequel. But even then, I'm reminded of like Hotel Transylvania where Adam Sandler was not in the fourth movie and nobody noticed. So
Yeah, they got a guy that sounded just like him.
yeah, voice acting is easier to hide.
And
because,
Kevin James, he was different too.
Right? Yeah, and then also there was the Trolls movie where it was there was a character who played the dad, the Poppy's father,
Mhm.
Joseph
the
Turnbull or
guy
whatever.
who was the mayor in The Grinch.
Yeah, it was
with
the
Jim Carrey.
and he was the guy from Transparent.
troll left behind.
Well, anyways, the other sequels that was a different character too, and once again, most people don't notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they can get away with it, and that's what I love about voice acting, is it's just it's magic.
It is magic. All right, let's jump into headline number 2. This one is kind of fun. I enjoy this.
Stranger Things. Jamie Campbell Bauer.
Yeah,
sorry.
it's his whole name. Jamie Campbell Bauer.
I stopped at Campbell for some reason. Campbell Bauer to star in the Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, Season 3.
Yay! Which took him a really long time to renew.
This comes to us from ew.com. It's actually just EW,
Yeah, for
but sorry.
Entertainment Weekly.
I couldn't help myself.
Ew.
Ew.
You can't be the first one to make that
Just-
joke.
Ew. Jamie Campbell Bauer is trading Hawkins for Middle-earth. Amazon Prime had just announced that the Stranger Things star had been cast in the upcoming third season of The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. While his official role was not disclosed, Bauer will serve as a series regular on the show, which is currently in pre-production and set to begin filming in the UK this spring. Joining the actor on the quest is Eddie Marsan, who has
Eddie Munson, dude. Eddie Munson. Come on. From Stranger Things Season 4 also. He was in he's the new Fantastic Four fire
just saying,
guy.
usually I am pretty bad with names, but this literally says Marsan, Marsan.
Is it Eddie Marsan? Am I wrong? Is this a completely different actor?
I don't know.
Hold on, you're blowing my mind, man.
Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I question everything now. So screw what I said. You start that sentence over, and I'll just shut up and sit in my corner.
Joining the actor on his quest is Eddie Marsan, who has also been cast in an undisclosed reoccurring role for the next season.
Okay, to be fair, I'm embarrassed because you're absolutely right. I was wondering why they picked a character name and not like an actor's name.
Yeah.
And so what you say makes more sense. I'm sorry, guys.
Sorry.
I feel ashamed.
Bauer is no stranger to the world of fantasy, having played the nefarious Vecna 001 on Stranger Things, Gellert Grindelwald. See, there I fucked that one.
Grindelwald, man. That
Thank
one I
you.
do know.
That one I did.
Harry
F up
Potter
bad.
villain, Grindelwald.
Why did I screw that up so hard? So Gellert Grindelwald in the Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts franchises, and a member of the Volturi in the Twilight Saga.
So Wait a minute. You couldn't get Grindelwald, but you knew Valtteri.
That was a good guess. I didn't even, I've honestly never heard that word before in my life.
Ryan watches Twilight.
I
You've heard it here.
Still a better love story than
He's Team
Twilight.
Jacob.
That's right. Well, to be fair, he's hot. He was also famously attached to the star in a Game of Thrones spinoff alongside Naomi Watts before it was ultimately canceled by HBO in 2019. So it's like they were starting something, then just stopped.
Yeah, they even shot a pilot. That show would have been awesome because it took place thousands of years, and it was going to say that it was going to be the origin of the White Walkers and like all the fantasy shit you wanted to see at the end of Game of Thrones that you didn't get to see. That was what that show was going to be. They did a pilot, and HBO saw it and was like,
Nah.
sucks.
What do you think about Jamie Campbell Bower joining the cast of The Rings of Power? That rhyme.
Yeah.
Tell us your thoughts at Earthling Entertainment Podcast at gmail.com or hit us up on our Facebook page.
That's right. I actually do enjoy The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. The first season, a lot of people didn't like, and I do agree. It was slow. It wasn't that great, but they redeemed themselves from season 2, and I'm really excited to see all these great cast announcements. There's a lot happening with season 3. It's just weird to me that it took them so long to renew it because they had such a big investment in the Lord of the Rings show. Like, they spent so much money, and for a split second there, I was like, oh, crap, they might not continue this show. I know you fell off after season 1.
I think I only got to episode 3 of season 1, and I was just like, done.
Done. Well, how many seasons did you get through when you were a kid of Barney the Dinosaur? How many seasons of that show did you watch, Ryan?
My God, I that was pretty much the end of my child. So yeah, I was young enough at the end of Barney that I probably watched more than a few seasons. How many seasons do you think Barney had?
I don't know.
I am
but
curious now.
Would it surprise you to know they're doing a Barney the Dinosaur movie?
Not at all, Joe.
And that's what we're talking about with headline number 3.
You'll never guess who's writing and starring in Daniel Kaluuya's Barney movie.
He's the dude from Get Out.
Thank you. This comes to us from Collider.com. From The Bear to Barney, Golden Globe Award winner Ayo Edebiri is in talks to star in the upcoming movie centered around everyone's favorite purple dinosaur.
Yeah, this isn't a joke, guys. So they're being kind of meta with it, like a little bit like the Brady Bunch movie or like the Barbie movie. This isn't going to be a little kid baby version of. They actually did a Barney the Dinosaur movie in like 1998 where he had to find a magic egg. I know because I saw it in theaters because I had a cousin who was a lot younger than me, not because it was beautiful. But the point is, this is going to be like a little bit more of the real story. If you remember right, the original Barney guy burnt the suit, and that's why he went from that dark purple to like a fatter kind of maroon or pink. It's because the original guy playing Barney burned the suit afterwards. He got fired. And you know what's funny is I never looked it up. That's what I've always believed. It's a rumor. I think it's true, but maybe that's what they're covering of this movie. So if you're wondering why we're talking about a Barney the Dinosaur movie, guys, that's
Other
why.
than why not talk about a Barney movie?
Continue.
The actress and comedian has already been signed on to pen the screenplay, which gives us a better idea of the tone of the live-action flick that's being backed by A24. Yes, with every update, the project seems like more and more of a fever dream, but that's just showbiz, baby.
That's right.
The movie is undoubtedly hoping to channel the excitement, audience, and cash reward that was garnered with 2023's Barbie, although it's not entirely clear whether the actor will be under a costume or if some other nightmare situation will mold the two together. Daniel Kaluuya is set to back the title under his 59% banner alongside Rowan Riley. As one could expect, Mattel Films also has their hands busy working on the production.
Yeah, Mattel's like, I want more of that toy money.
With Kevin McKeon and Andrew Scannell overseeing and Robbie Brenner producing. The Barney movie has now been in the works for more than half a decade, having first been announced back in 2019. If all goes as the studios are expecting, it should be quite a hit with fans, especially those who grew up with the purple dinosaur from the late 80s to 2010. I
Yeah,
didn't
so
know
it went on for a while.
I didn't know it ran till 2010.
So I don't know if they did a season every year, but like, I
God
mean,
damn.
that's gonna be like 23 seasons, right?
Like by the end, he's got to be like, I love you. Like, oh my God. I'm gonna...
You know what's a weird little side note? Demi Lovato, the singer, she was on Barney the Dinosaur in like season 3. Like she was a reoccurring little kid on Barney the Dinosaur.
Good. That's good.
Yeah. She's a wild one, man.
Yeah.
She has a whole show where she's like talking about aliens and stuff. We should get her on the show, man. She'd probably be down.
Yeah.
If we can get a hold of Demi Lovato, she'd probably be like, "Fuck yeah, I'll do your show."
Is Demi Lovato available?
I don't know.
Get her on the phone.
I'm on it.
So over the years, Barney saw various iterations, starting with a direct-to-video series titled Barney and the Backyard Gang in 1988, which turned into Barney and Friends.
That's the one we watched as kids.
The latter ran for an impressive, here's our answer, 14 seasons on PBS and taught kids plenty of lessons along the way.
Yeah, it's the only reason why I share my gummy bears.
It's honestly the only reason he does.
It's true.
Remember Barney. What would Barney do?
I remember our buddy Jeff, when we were kids, had a shirt and it said "No more purple dinosaurs," and it had a picture of Barney with like one of that circle and a line through it. And he loved that shirt, man. He thought it was the funniest thing in the world because he was already cocky in like 5th grade.
I remember all the old Flash websites and stuff like that, like E-Bombs World or whatever, and they would have like the little Flash games where you would always like assassinate someone, and it was always like Barney or something like that for some reason. I don't know why, but there were people obsessed with making Flash cartoons of killing Barney.
Yeah, what was it? I hate you, you hate me. Let's get together and kill Barney. Put a knife through his heart, gun to his head. Pull the trigger and Barney's dead.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah, that was the. That's
And I think
weird.
there were other verses,
I don't think
too.
I've thought of that song since we were like in grade school. So I'm kind of impressed myself on that one.
That's why I let it roll.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not interrupting this at all. So the movie sounds like it will lean away from the kid-centered aspect and act as nostalgia bait for adults, while offering them something completely different from what they're used to. To be clear, this Barney movie probably won't be for children.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I mean, it sounds about right. So honestly, I think it'll be hilarious if they do it right. If they just make it so satire, so funny.
I just want it to be Deaf to Smoochie. I want another Deaf to Smoochie, to be honest.
I need to rewatch that movie. I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Oh, good. Edward Norton plays a character, and it's a rhino character, and it's purple. It's clearly supposed to be Barney.
Right.
And it's kind of like the underground, like, mob, like crime, organized crime, like the secret society of children's entertainment.
Yeah, of like mascots and stuff. Yeah.
Very, very good movie, man.
And Robin Williams
is in
he was
it.
replaced.
He was Rudolph Randall in that film, and I think it was supposed to be kind of like a Bozo the Clown, maybe. You know, when it comes to 70s and 80s children's stuff, I've heard of like Captain Kangaroo, but I actually don't remember any of that because I didn't see it. So I'm not sure exactly.
I just
Maybe
know, like,
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers, I was
Maybe
about
Mr.
to say.
Rogers, yeah.
That's like the only thing I can think of.
Well, guys, speaking of old entertainment, we might have, because, you know, they're still doing Star Trek shows, but we might have a return of a legend. Check it out on Headline. Final headline of the night, number 4.
Let's boldly go. William Shatner may return to Star Trek as Captain Kirk one more time. This comes to us from Nerdist.com. Over 30 years since his last appearance as Captain James T. Kirk,
Which was in the film Star Trek Generations.
it appears that iconic actor William Shatner may return to the captain's chair in a Star Trek project one more time.
Yes.
Yes, he died heroically, spoiler alert, in the film Star Trek Generations.
Yeah, that came out in the early 90s. Can you imagine somebody listening to our show like,
You
damn it,
son of a bitch!
I was about to watch that film.
Like, you destroyed my whole life.
Right before, I was watching them all from the beginning, right before this show.
But when has death been the end for a Trek character? I mean,
Sure.
you know, Spock.
Yeah, he came back. There was literally a movie called We're Bringing Him Back.
Yep, bring him back. Fuck it. Appearing at Fan Expo in Vancouver, the nearly 94-year-old actor was asked about the possibility of returning one more time to his legendary role. He said a writer on one of Paramount's currently in development Star Trek series had contacted him about this very thing. Here's what he told the audience. I have been asked to come back as Kirk so many times. If Kirk is going to come back, it has to mean something. It has to be the show. But I was impressed by this writer, so I said, let's talk after I'm done in Vancouver. So I'm awaiting a pitch to make it in the show. It should come on Monday or Tuesday, so really soon.
Yeah, yeah. But I get what he's saying, man. He's like, I don't want to be a cameo. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ever since Captain Kirk died in Star Trek Generations back in 1994, rumors have surfaced that Shatner would return, as Leonard Nimoy did after they killed Spock in The Wrath of Khan, like the best sci-fi movie ever. Paramount offered Shatner cameo roles as Kirk in Star Trek Enterprise in 2005, as well as the 2009 J.J. Abrams feature film reboot. But he always turned them down, saying if Kirk was to come back, it would not be just a cameo.
Yeah, like I said, and it actually plays into William Shatner is kind of known for being a little bit like, I'm William Shatner, so it makes sense. That's very on brand for him.
I was gonna say he's like the most. That's like what the whole movie Galaxy Quest was based on.
Exactly.
Was just him being so self-centered.
He had a little bit of an ego for sure, and it was always a pissing contest between him and Nimoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever they are pitching him, it's got to be something Kirk-centric, and probably not an episode of Strange New Worlds or the upcoming Starfleet Academy series.
Yeah.
It is only logical.
I was actually really excited for the Starfleet Academy series because I was like, okay, cool. Like a kind of a school version story of like Star Trek and them learning about that. It sounded really cool, but then I started seeing images and who they cast, and it looks very different than I want. It looks like we're doing like a college romp. It doesn't seem like a sci-fi show. It seems like Degrassi 2050. Like I don't know. It looks bad.
Could it be a Star Trek Kirk series?
No, like I just said, it was a shitty Degrassi future series. Weren't you listening, Ryan? Or were you just waiting to start reading the article again?
Waiting to start reading the article again.
I know. You are not always good at responding to my cleverness. But
No,
fine,
not.
continue.
Could it be a Star Trek Kirk series? Something focusing on his character in his final adventure, similar to Star Trek Picard. A fan film called 765874 recently brought Kirk back to life, and fans went nuts for it. Sam Witwer played Kirk with makeup and digital enhancement to look like Shatner, but with Shatner's cooperation. Maybe this has spurred the actor to rejoin Starfleet one last time. The final season of Picard showed that Starfleet has Kirk's body hidden away in secret for something called Project Phoenix.
That's a little on the nose.
We may find out soon if that little Easter egg is leading to something bigger. 2026 is Star Trek's 60th anniversary, after all.
That's right. And you know what? I got to be honest. I don't know if that was supposed to lead to William Shatner reprising his role. I think they were just saying, if we do this Easter egg, we can bring Kirk back whatever the hell we want, cast who the actor we want. It's fine. It makes sense.
Yeah.
So if that becomes William Shatner returning, great, cool. But that also could just be 10 years from now, we get a different actor. I mean, we already had someone else play him, Chris Pine, so it's not unheard of.
Right.
I got to meet William Shatner at Motor City Comic Con. He was really kind of nice. You don't have long to talk to him when you meet him in that environment, but great guy. We had a picture up on the wall with with me, my wife, and my son. So very cool. I'm glad I got to see him because he's 94, man.
The J.J. Abrams films were what got me into Star Trek, believe it or not. I watched those.
Yeah.
And then that's what inspired me to go and watch the complete original series, which was only 2 seasons, but each episode is so long and there's so many episodes per season.
Well, if you watch the animated series, it's kind of like a 3rd season. Yeah. So
I haven't seen that.
It's voiced by Shatner and Nimoy return. No one else, though.
And I saw all the movies.
All 10?
All of them. And with the original cast, yeah. And those were great.
What about the shows? You watch Enterprise?
I did not. That was it. I didn't watch anything with Picard. I mean, I've seen probably episodes. I've seen clips.
Voyager's pretty good. Next Generation's pretty good, but it still feels kind of dated now. Like if you were to watch it, you might want to just jump into Discovery or Strange New Worlds, which I think Strange New Worlds is the better of this two series. And Strange New Worlds is actually a direct prequel to the original Star Trek. So you might want to check that. You know, the guy in the weird little beep beep at the trial, you know, they made fun of it in South
Yes.
Park. He's the main character in Strange New Worlds. His name's Captain Pike.
Because he's the original
He's the
captain,
original captain, yeah.
of the Enterprise. Who
Yeah.
they literally just found a way to reuse that old footage. It was so funny for that whole episode.
Well, it caused a really cool storyline because now in Strange New Worlds, like he had a premonition of that happening to him. So he is dealing with the fact that like he knows that'll be his ultimate end. So it's
Wow.
this weird little kind of dread over everything. You know what I mean?
That's kind of funny.
But if you know it's going to kill you, then it could make you invincible because you know you could survive everything else.
My elder millennial trait is I still like making weird like ringtones and notification sounds on my phone.
Sure.
For the longest time, my notification was the whistle from the original. Yep.
Yeah, that weird thing. Yeah.
Yep. I had that as my notification for a very long time. And then finally I was like, I think it's time to let it go. And then I put it back to the old Xbox achievement bloop.
You know what? I don't have it anymore, but before I got a new phone, a couple new phones ago, but at one point I had the Power Rangers every time
Classic.
and I was like, awesome! I got a message, guys. Pick it up. All right, guys, I gotta get milk. You know,
There was a
never as
time.
cool.
There was a time where people were making amazing amounts of cash selling ringtones.
There-
That was a time.
Yeah,
People would buy like ringtones for like $5. And like there were people out there who were literally just making up these ringtones on their computer and making a ton of money. It was a thing.
yeah. Before smartphones, I had like a Razor, and I remember paying like $5 for the Invader Zim theme.
That's right.
Dun, dun,
Worth
dun, 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 dun,
every
dun,
penny.
dun, 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 dun.
I remember I'm going to sing the Doom song now.
Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom,
doom,
doom.
doom, 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 doom.
Okay, we were pretty good on track with that. And guys, with that, it brings us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to download the episode wherever you listen to this podcast because it is the best way to support us. Also, Ryan, do you have a mission for everybody?
I do. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to share this episode, this podcast, Earthling Entertainment, with a friend, with a coworker, with a loved one, with a fellow Earthling, because together we can fight the power and be entertained.
That's right. So, guys, from all of us here at Earthling Entertainment, I'd like to say, see ya.
And I would like to say goodbye. So would
And
Pogo.
apparently the dog does too.
Good boy.